Thursday, everyone. Finally, something worth watching on CNN since the great Don Lemon left. Which means it's time for
Trump versus CNN. Insurrection 2, the rematch.
So last night, Donald Trump did a town hall on CNN, and it went over as well as a spelling bee hosted by John Fetterman. That's because, how dare you laugh at that? First, the standing O.
Former President Donald Trump.
We haven't seen a welcome that warm since someone came to The View with 2 cows and a bag of charcoal. Well, what a great idea. Have a pro-Trump audience just to make the heads of what's left of the CNN audience explode. Remember, the only people who watch CNN work for CNN or other media. So seeing people applaud for Trump, that's worse than cheering for Jaws to eat more children. For an hour plus, Trump and his debate opponent, town hall moderator, Caitlin Collins, tangled. He talked and she under-talked.
To put in 7 ballots apiece.
But Mr. President,
I
have to stop you there because there is no evidence of that.
Obama took them, Nixon took them, Reagan took them.
One question about what happened when you had those documents. It included a raid on my house. Can I talk?
Yeah, what's
the answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to. You're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
Like when Harry met Sally. Val Kilmer had an easier time speaking in the Top Gun sequel. Oh. He would have laughed. Trump was in front of a sympathetic crowd that laughed at his jokes and applauded his boasts while Collins feebly tried to keep up like a frantic schoolmarm. She tried to fact-check him on live TV, but with Trump, that's like trying to put socks on an octopus. Collins began by berating Trump for Jan 6th. I wonder, did Trump have to pull it out?
Oh, let me pull it out. I have to pull it out. So if you look at, on January 5th, the day before, I said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Stay peaceful. This was the day before, and this was in the form of Twitter. Now use Truth Social. I think it's far superior.
Always the promoter. And if you remember, he made a video right outside the Oval Office, and he didn't need a script because he doesn't need scripts like the person who's in there right now.
And if you remember, I made a video right outside the Oval Office in the Rose Garden, and I'm very proud of that video. I didn't have a script. I don't need scripts like a certain person that's in there right now.
As for E. Jean Carroll, maybe he doesn't know her.
I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. Her dog or her cat was named Vagina.
I'm guessing it was her cat. It makes more sense. Hey, Vagina, where did you get the dead mouse? But is that true? And does it matter? Even if you hate Trump, you got to admit, you just don't get this level of realness from any other candidate. That's what it boils down to. Americans might find Trump annoying, untrue, or obnoxious, but you know what you're getting, and it's firing on all cylinders fast. And people don't want to keep paying twice as much for everything. They just want to feed their families, preferably using a gas stove. They want to live their lives without the intrusion of these miserable elites. And Trump even makes the debt ceiling hilarious.
You once said that using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge just could not happen. You said that when you were in the Oval Office.
That's when I was president.
So why is it different now that you're out of office?
Because now I'm not president.
Can't argue with that. But also, Trump gets the media in a way no other candidate in American history has, which means he knows how to handle the people who lie to us every day. I wish I could get him to talk to my cable company. But the liberal response was as predictable as it was idiotic. AOC says CNN should be ashamed of themselves for losing control of the town hall. A Daily Beast writer says CNN failed journalism and the American public. Well, the Daily Beast does no failed journalism. Everyone there is a failed journalist. Listen to these jackasses.
No surprises, and yet it was a disgraceful performance.
I'm not going to pretend like it was easy for me to see the former president get this forum tonight to lie to the American people over and over and over again.
I was wondering when he was going to be fact-checked in real time. I think we needed a chyron. This is a lie, this is a lie, this is a lie, this is a lie.
What I didn't know was that the audience would be filled with his cult. I would like to know if CNN was passing out Kool-Aid before the event started.
You know, usually to hear such inspired criticism, you have to watch an episode of Dancing with the Stars. So they're surprised it's contentious. They're outraged he answered their questions. They're offended that he wouldn't back down. How stupid are these people? It's exactly what everyone would expect. It's as if the media has never heard of Trump before. It's like they'd be surprised if he ate pasta with his hands or bragged about his penis at a funeral. That's how in sync they are with Biden. Now they have short-term memory loss. It's like they'd be surprised to find out the buildings were named after Trump and not the other way around. They're just a parade of morons. Then there's this. Following the town hall, CNN interviewed the audience.
Does it bother you that he keeps talking about 2020 and not 2024? How do you feel about those lies?
So I feel like part of it's also the media narrative, as you guys asked him the first question at the town hall about the 2020 election, rather than current stuff.
So don't you think he could say it's time for me to start talking about 2024 and not lies that aren't true?
Couldn't the media ask him a question about 2024?
Well, there were questions, but you're right, that was the first thing.
Perfect. The media complains that Trump talks about the past after they ask him about the past. That's like asking a shark to leave you alone while you cover your naked body with barbecue sauce. Even CNN reported on how messed up CNN is, noting that their network boss is facing a fury of criticism within the company. But maybe that outrage is meant to cover their tracks for having Trump on. So, did this town hall help Trump for 2024? Didn't hurt. Hell, at least Trump knows where he's going compared to this fella. Confused fossil on stage for an hour getting peppered with gotcha questions from a hostile interrogator. It wouldn't be a town hall, it would be a town hanging. But with Donald Trump, when he enters the lion's den, it's the lion that gets nervous. Welcome tonight's guest. She's our third favorite Molly after Ringwald and the drug. Editor-in-chief of the Federalist, Molly Hemingway. To do this show, he needed a permission slip from his parents. Host of the Guy Benson Show, Guy Benson. She's so skinny, kids from third world countries send her food. Fox News contributor, Kat Tiff. And hot air balloons have him on a no-fly list. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Tyrus. Guy, always a pleasure to see you, and I mean that. This time, I was surprised to see you in the green room openly weeping about how great you thought Trump did. You were basically saying, oh my God, thank God he's back. I think it was amazing. You know, I didn't expect that from you.
Because I didn't do that, but that's fine. It's a good story. I'm so confused by the cat name joke. Maybe you can explain that to me at some point. Although he's like, I don't know her at all, but I know her cat's name. Okay.
Coming from a guy named Guy.
There is something, fair hit. There is something sort of delicious about CNN having their best rated show in recent memory, which is like an average night for the five, but for them it's really good. And they are tearing themselves apart for it.
Right.
That is wild to see. and their own correspondents are trashing their own network for having this forum with the man who is the leading candidate for president of a major party. What are they supposed to do? Not ask questions of a candidate? Blackball him completely? We can't normalize him. I have issues with Trump. He was president of the United States. He is normalized, whether you like it or not. Yes. He's running for the office again. Maybe you don't want to have a Thunderdome of his fans cheering him on, putting Caitlin Collins on an island out there.
Yes.
But what do they want to do? It's supposedly a news network.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The thing is, I think, and this is my conspiracy theory, Molly, that all of this complaining from within the house of CNN is designed so that they could do this. It's look, that's their cover. What do you make of that conspiracy?
I don't know. I mean, they are so desperate because they have such horrific ratings that I thought it was kind of interesting that they did this. But seeing Jake Tapper near tears after it was an extra special delight in addition to getting to see what happened there. But this is not just the former president. This is the far and away top candidate for the next Republican nomination. The idea, the media meltdown over this means that they don't really trust the American people. Ask him questions, get the answers, trust the American people to make the decision.
Yes.
But they don't. They basically handled everything by silencing him for the last few years, and it actually counterintuitively made it all that more refreshing to see him. You're not sick of hearing him for the last few years.
Absolutely.
So it was wow, I forgot this was great.
Yeah, it's actually you kind of missed him because if you saw, remember he could be pretty tiresome. I don't know if you remember that guy. You're only 12. But what was amazing about CNN before I go to CNN didn't have just one big panel. They had two big panels. It's let's get double the panel to trash Trump. And then they had one guy there. I think it was Byron Donalds and this other dude we don't know. But anyway, it was hilarious. Kat, what did you make of this?
I feel like it's exactly what anybody could have expected and exactly what we've seen a lot before every time Trump's on TV, which is why I thought just all of these reactions were just all extremely dramatic. I think saying, this is the end of the country. I don't think so. Or even Chris Lick said, America was very well served by this. It's no, it was about ratings.
Yes.
But that's what people do all the time. But I think I'm going to start taking it up for myself.
Yeah.
People are why, Kat, why did you do that? Which I get asked a lot. I'm just going to say because I love my country.
That's great. That is good.
Kat, why are you so mad at me? Because I love my country. It holds a lot more weight than just saying I'm upset or because, I wanted ratings or I wanted attention. I feel like everyone employs it, so why can't I?
You know what? He had a great answer on Ukraine. And the media basically said he was soft on Russia because he refused to commit on who should win. And he was holding himself to the metric of the body count.
We gave a presidential answer.
Yeah.
He wants to stop killing. Doesn't care. He doesn't see Russians die. He wants to see Ukrainians die.
Yeah.
That's a presidential answer. But two things. The timing of it wasn't great because it changed the news narrative. We're not talking about Hunter and his stuff today.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not talking about the Biden corruption. So that was one reason that I wish it would have been more spaced out because they're going to try to use this. And to your point, 1,000%, there was a meeting where they will publicly bash it.
Yes.
And bring him on because that will keep it going. They need him. So, and the moderator, I'm not sure what was being moderated other than his responses, it's her turn now. But she has to be careful because Acosta and the other ones, they all got books out of it and they became part of the story. And I always say, whenever a so-called journalist or an opinion piece or whatever it is you want to be, when you become part of the story, your time is done. It's only a matter of time before people move on and they won't take you seriously anymore. That's why, where's Acosta?
Yeah.
Where's the whole group? Half has been fired because they were the story.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to be the story again. But this time they think they're clever with having everybody bash CNN for doing it so they can keep the news cycle going because everyone's focused on Trump and you're trying to give a break to Biden. The good news about that is all you have to do is wait for Biden to speak and him get lost on a 3-foot podium, and then it kind of switches back.
Yes, that's true. Well, I'll never become part of the story because I don't do stories.
You do a good, no, but you narrate, but don't be part of the story.
Yes, exactly.
She's part of the story now. So get your book and.
Yeah, I love the white pantsuit though. It's very nice. All right, up next, we uncover glitches in a hotline for snitches. Thank you. The Golden State has a snitch line for hate. California promotes squealing if someone hurts your feelings. It's true, greasy-haired goon Gavin Newsom recently announced his state will be launching a hotline for reporting acts of hate. According to the website, examples of hate incidents include name-calling, bullying, or refusing service. Or as I call them, the 3 pillars of good management. Ask my staff if you can still find them. The project known as California versus Hate will allow victims and witnesses to report a hate incident against any group in a safe, anonymous manner. Because California won't tolerate hate, unless you hate street crime or drug abuse and public pooping. In that case, you're out of luck. And who gets to define what a hate crime is, right? For some, it's suffering through a new song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. For others, it's suffering through an old song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because they suck. According to Newsom, a hate act is vaguely defined as any hostile expression or action against someone's actual or perceived identity. Perfect example, telling Leah Thomas the pool's so cold it'll give her shrinkage. Telling Rachel Dolezal that she owes reparations. Or telling Brian Kilmeade he's got to go home. So California set up a snitch line, but the best part, law enforcement won't be involved. So I guess it's like how California handles murder, rape, and theft. Then again, maybe having a place to report hostility isn't all bad. We've actually obtained tape of a few of the calls.
Hello, California Hate Hotline. How can I help you?
Yeah, my boss keeps telling people that I'm a drug-addicted alcoholic.
How many people is he telling?
Like a couple million every night.
Wow, that's messed up. Anything else?
Yeah, he also won't stop talking about his abs, quads, and biceps.
Has he threatened you?
Oh, no. He's super tiny, like crazy small.
California Hate Hotline.
Yeah, my so-called coworker keeps asking me to pick him up and hold him like a baby.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he won't stop talking about his abs, quads, and biceps.
Sounds like he's obsessed.
Only with toilet humor. It's disgusting. Wait, he just sent me a picture of him sitting on the toilet. It's so disgusting. Please do something.
I'll file this right away.
I can't stand Arnold.
Thank you, sir.
Iris, do you think this is like the most necessary thing?
Yes, yes. Give the police a break. Let Karen call somebody else. This is great.
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm calling them. Are the police involved? No. Shut up, Karen. Like, what? I mean, literally, it's the tattletale hotline.
Yes.
But we talked about this before. This is how they don't have to deal with it anymore.
Right.
We did the, like now they can call a line and they'll save it and they'll go in a little box. It's like Dwight Schrute in the office, his complaint box.
Yeah.
And he'll keep it in Sacramento. And the good news is they'll have fresh toilet paper for everybody crapping outside. So it'll work out just fine.
Yeah, I forgot that you said that. And Molly, I felt like they're allowing all the other crimes to occur, and this is the one they're gonna care about, the feelings that are hurt. But Tyrus's point is that they're just trying to shunt it off, like the reparations discussion. Like let's have it and not do anything.
Yeah, but I worry if you don't have the police involved, who is involved? And there's no due process here. So you make a complaint about someone, and then some other state agency gets involved to punish you, and it's all based on anonymous complaints. So, you lose out housing or you lose out benefits or something like that. What's the whole point of this? Because it's not just going into an empty box.
Where could it be going if it's not?
Yeah, a social worker's going to come sit me down and talk about my feelings? No, this is the problem is feelings aren't facts. So if someone says he looked at me the wrong way or they gave me bad service, I want something done. The 10-day, the hundreds of phone calls that tie up police officers and correctional facilities and all this stuff. Now they got their own hotline and they promise no police are involved. So if I'm not breaking a law enforcement, I don't care.
Okay, but think about where these normally are. They're on college campuses where the police are not involved, and people will make an anonymous complaint. It will destroy someone's life. They get kicked off campus, and it's like that ideology is now transported to the entire state of California.
Well, Kat, could this be therapeutic for someone who just needs to vent their problems? Like perhaps you.
Me?
Yes.
No, and I have a lot of problems, but I've never had a problem where I'm going to feel better by calling a hotline like this because it's a government hotline. So what's going to happen when you call? You're going to be put on hold. You're going to be put on hold for a very long time, and nothing pisses you off even more when you're upset than being put on hold. And then the little music while you're on hold, and you're already upset, and then you finally get through, and what are they gonna say? They're gonna hit you with, "I'm so sorry to hear that, ma'am. Why don't I just call the DMV? Like, that already exists."
I would so volunteer for this program just to take these calls and just screw with them.
It's just... But I think a lot of people, but this already exists. It's every government office ever. You call, you tell them things, you wait and you tell them things. They can't do anything. They're saying, "Ma'am, you're so sorry to hear that." And you're like, "I'm not that old. Don't call me ma'am."
By the way, the hold music will be the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
Californication.
So, okay, technically, the Red Hot Chili Peppers could call a complaint about me because of the things I say. I slandered them, Guy.
So 2 points. Number one, they say the police won't get involved. I don't believe them.
Really?
I think that this goes into some database somewhere and will be weaponized by someone at some point, whether it's the police or not. Second thought, this is about people who feel like there's an affront to someone's perceived identity. There are a lot of Californians in the last few years who have a brand new identity, Floridians,
right?
Texans. And so my thought process is, can they maybe dial up the hotline, the old hate line, and explain how much they hate their former state and why?
Yes.
That would be worthwhile.
That's an excellent idea. That would be worth
Just
listening
flood
to.
the lines.
They should have this is kind of a hotline for people to narc on people who narc, right? They're just collecting really...
Yeah, and it goes in a circle because if you call on me, then I will call on you.
Yes.
We'll just keep calling on each other.
Exactly.
He reported me. Well, he reported me. He made me feel bad when he reported me. Well, he made me feel worse when he reported me.
This is going to destroy relationships, too, because imagine if you are venting to a friend and your friend says to you, "Why don't you call the government hotline?"
Reminds me of that guy with a giant phone book, the giant thing, and he wore a suit with little question marks on it. I don't remember who it is. That's going nowhere, obviously, in this segment. Remember?
The Riddler?
No, he looks like the Riddler. He's like, you can get all this free stuff from a government program.
Ask Lesko.
Is
that right? Am I right?
The little kid got it.
Do I win something?
All right. You always think you get a prize, but you don't, do you, Guy? Up next, Santos is forced to enter a plea while the Bidens get off scot-free. George Santos's problems are mounting due to creative accounting, while Sleepy Joe's corruption causes no disruption. Congressman George Santos pled not guilty yesterday to 13 federal charges, including fraud and money laundering. Santos, of course, is famous for fabricating his entire life story, including things no one cares about, like volleyball. What is that? His lies were silly, unlike Joe Biden, who, as you know, was raised by Puerto Ricans. And not just any Puerto Ricans, invisible Puerto Ricans that he likes to shake hands with. The irony was not lost on Santos. I mean, the reality is, it's a witch hunt.
The reality is it's a witch hunt, because it makes no sense that in 4 months, 5 months, I'm indicted. You have Joe Biden's entire family receiving deposits from nine family members receiving money from foreign destinations into their bank accounts.
Now, watching Fox is not a defense, because that's where it came from. Anyway, a fair point. You really can't compare Santos's actions to the corrupt influence peddling that the Biden family is being investigated for. Santos has less power than a Prius on a cold day. So when it comes to corruption, he's Pop Warner and the Bidens are the NFL, and Joe has the head trauma to prove it. Santos has no patience for reporters who accused him of the charges.
Well, it's alleged, right? So so are you accusing me, or are you going to allow the process to play itself and allow me to clear my name?
But I wonder if he's been stressed.
I quite frankly don't believe I was stressed. I did the best I could to just keep my composure. I was fine. But again, this has been an experience, for a book or something like that.
A book, eh? Well, for more on this, please welcome back our friend of the show, New York Representative George Santos. So, Congressman, were you surprised at all about these charges?
Greg, I wasn't surprised about the criminal charges. I was surprised about the credit card charges that led to them. I mean, who in my campaign bought this ridiculous T-shirt, Greg? I mean, this is a con artist. Rubbish.
A prop comedy there from George Santos. All right, you mentioned you might use this experience to write a book. Was that the plan all along?
Sure, Greg. My plan was to get elected to Congress and then go to prison so I could write a book. It's the same reason that Biden's corrupt, so his son could have a painting career.
Now, if by some chance you're found guilty and have to do prison time, how do you think you'll handle it?
Greg, I won't. I'm innocent. I swear on my mother's graves. The one from 2001 and the one from 2016. But felons tell me I'll do very well in prison, and so will Kitara.
Kitara was what was Kitara, your stage name?
My stage name in Brazil that I was honest about the entire time.
All right, George. Congressman George Santos, everyone. Molly, I sense a little bit of ageism here. We tolerate old corruption, but not young corruption.
No.
If his hair was white, right, we'd all be, just let him go.
Yeah, no, the guy clearly has a problem with telling falsehoods.
Yes.
But his career is politician. The idea that this is somehow noteworthy among a whole class of people, up to and including Joe Biden, who has like 50 years of lying about everything from where he went to school, to what degrees he got, to where he placed in class, to what his life story was. He totally plagiarized that Irish politician's life story. I mean, I think George Santos is like a good beginning of what you can become that Joe Biden brought to fruition after 50 years.
Yeah, that's so true. Kat, I don't think it works in court, though, when you're arrested and you point to somebody else. Yeah, well, check out that criminality.
Right. I know.
I wish it did.
I know what I would do if I were in court.
What?
I would just say, Your Honor, are you mad at me?
And you did it because you love America.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's what he should have gone with.
Yes.
The bottom line is I love America. And then at least half the country will cheer if you say that. I love America. Yeah, he didn't seem stressed, though.
No, he didn't.
I mean, I feel stressed all the time, and I don't even have a single federal charge, not to brag.
Yeah, good for you, by the way.
Thank you.
Keep your nose clean, for now anyway. Guy, where do you see this going?
So, we have to remember that under our system, he is only guilty looking until proven guilty. So a couple of things here. I want to know who lent him the money to post his bond. Given his track record, that is maybe not the best decision. He lies about everything, which is sad because the first time I met him, he told me he's a huge fan. Can't possibly be true. And the thing is,
where did you meet him?
Here in New York, actually.
Was it at a club?
It was not.
Okay.
It was not.
Continue, Guy.
Yeah. I have one more joke to make on this, so thank you. I can sort of imagine him in prison down the line and like making this big announcement that he has joined a prison gang. And then the Latin Kings being like, fact check, no. Like, we did not let him in. Right, that is entirely plausible. That might be the end game here. It'll be a great chapter in the book.
Exactly. So, Taurus, do you think he will resign or will he just...
No, he'll serve while he's serving. His best bet is probably call that hotline in California. Tell on some people. It doesn't work when you're a child, when you blame your brother for your bad behavior and bringing up the Biden's corruption or whatever. They had a whole system, and again, 50 years and bastards and millions of dollars. You apparently had a checkbook and a dog washing scam. So that's why they got you in 4 months.
Exactly.
And everything out of your mouth is a lie.
Yes.
So covering up with whataboutisms, I think his attorney said it best. I just want to find my car.
Yes, that was great. He wanted to get the hell out of there. That's true. All right. Coming up, our guests unload on news from their own zip code.
雅雅的盾是输出魔攻越高，然后他的盾就越厚。
干，我怎么滚进来？去你的！哎，我为什么会卡住我？
屌丝屌丝，复活复活复活甲复活甲。
你看他爱丽丝。
看一下哈，等我一下，哪一个有移动速度的？
那你信我吗？
那个我不行了，我不行了。
有，我信你，我东西都给你了。把你挂下。
把中兵清掉就好，把中兵清掉就好了。
你看我这有，我有相信你，我有相信你可以的。我刚刚很挺，我什么东西都丢给你了。
我会给洗。
这个盾够厚了啦。
没有复活了，没有复活了。
打完了。
有没有那个复活？我觉得我很棒。那个复活我很棒，非常的棒。
哎，我们家爆了！哎，家爆了！干！我清不掉。
我来了，我回家了。
哎，好像可以，都是小只的。
你欺骗我感情。
打还一波。
那个上路兵线也要记得清哦。哎，我两下普攻那个勇就死掉。
等一下，我把这个卖掉。
有人哎，你不冒起兵
哦，4000。
我们的维拉是傻小，你要不要看一下他维拉装备？
哦。
那个三小，
真的是三小哎！
不要被我变到。
我也要跟他一样。
直接被秒。
睡觉咯，各位晚安。
晚安。
哇，那个睡觉我没复活到。晚安。
对，这个睡觉我没有按到复活。
看。